Hello, welcome guys back to the channel. This is Maverick here, bringing to you the penultimate episode of Magia Record. So at the end of last episode, Iroha and the others, except Yachio of course, were headed towards the Magus for some kind of introductory briefing, I guess you could say, and along the way they were able to meet Toka, one of the two friends of Ui, or supposed friends anyways, which is kind of funny because Iroha was supposed to go and try and meet Nemu, but instead she meets Toka instead. So, just the way the world works, right? Beyond that, we also have this sort of backstory in regards to Yachio and the other girls before her, specifically Mifu, which I suspect will be resolving in this season, instead of anything to do with Ui, right? And of course, will Sana be able to hand out the coasters by the end of this season, right? I suppose so. Probably in the next episode, actually. And then maybe we'll finally have some great heart-to-heart between Yachio and the other girls, so on and so forth. Make a nice little conclusion to this season. So, with that being said, let's get right into the episode. Alright, let's begin in 3, 2, 1, play. Early prick. I wonder if the amount of anime viewers have gone up recently. With the world situation with the virus and all. I'm actually working completely remotely now. Which, to me, doesn't really change much. Just go, Yachio. Stop being a tsundere. Hmm? What? Is that like your inner self? Oh, flashback or something. The ghosts of her former roommates? Victims? Friends? Right. Textbook tsundere. What do you know about Toka? Okay, so she's like the boss of the Magus? You were also friends with Toka? Okay. Let's see what their understanding of magical girls is. And of course, we gotta have the opening first. Alright. I didn't know that Iroha was also friends with Nemu and Toka. I thought those two were just Ui's friends from her time at the infirmary in the hospital. I guess maybe they met while Iroha was visiting Ui or something like that. You know, we're nearing the end of this season already, and I still have no real knowledge of Iroha whatsoever. Or any of the girls, really. We know she's kind, right? But, I mean, that's, in a lot of cases, just a given. Alright. Okay, getting 2 reveals at once. What? Oh. well, I guess technically, yes, right, on a technical level. Also technically true. Well, that's kind of putting it lightly. So, have they not figured out that they turn into witches? Hey, it's Cupid. Alright. Second hour? They took a whole hour to go over. Ah, here we go. Like from a first person perspective? This is the normal cube, right? Okay, those were Yachio's former teammates. Nice. Now I'm actually getting some feel of the Madoka Magica franchise and the witches. Right, so I guess she overexerted herself? Yeah. It broke. Okay, now we're getting to Fury 2. About witches. Okay, is this part 2? Yeah. Okay, so how much do they know here?
っちゃんも落ち込んでましたけど、三日月荘のメンバーも増えて、もうすっかり元通りですね。
うん。
ごめんね。団体のお客さんの予約なんてめったにないから。今日は大東区から流れてきた魔女を狩るんですね。
ええ、交渉区、中央区、水な区と移動してきているから、私たち新生区で止めておかないと。
ちょうどいい。グリーフシードも心もとなくなってきてたし。やちおさん、
さすがにここまで流れてきただけあるわね。やっちゃん、私がおとりになる。美冬はメルを連れて脱出。桃子は2人の退路を作って。
一人で突っ込む気？
何年魔法少女をやってると思ってるの？
Do tell.
今のうちに早く。ななみ先輩、メルダメよ。
Oh.
メルさん、メルさん。
グリーフシードは
Okay, so she
逃がしてなけりゃ。
overexerted.
メル、もう
Her
少し
Sojim did not shatter, right?
グリーフシードを取ってくるわ。取ってくるって、魔女を探すしかないでしょ。
Yeah.
行かないで。わかるです。もう僕は。
バカなこと言わないで。何がラッキーだよ。最悪じゃない。
そんなことありませんよ。
Hmm.
それではここで問題です。ソウルジェムが濁りきるとどうなってしまうでしょうか。
魔女。
自分の目で見た方がわかりやすいでしょ。
どういうことだよ。
どうもこうも君たちが今見た通りだよ。
どうしてメルが魔女になるんだよ。魔女って、魔法少女って一体何なんだよ。
この国では成長途中の女性のことを少女って呼ぶんだろ。だったらやがて魔女になる君たちのことは魔法少女と呼ぶべきだよね。
あなた本気で言ってるの？
もしそれが本当ならさ、私らが今まで倒してたのは。
桃子、
だって八千代さん。
桃子、そんなに嘆くようなことじゃないよ。すべてはこの宇宙の寿命を延ばすためなんだ。
Right. Entropy.
これは君たち人類にとっても得になる取引だって分かってもらえるはずだよ。
かなえさんの時と同じ。仲間が死ぬたび残酷な事実が突きつけられる。生き残れば生き残るほど、どうしてこんなに惨めなんですか？
なんと魔法少女はソウルジェムが燃え尽きてグリーフシードに変わるとき、魔女になってしまう運命だったのです。
もう忘れた方がいいよ。ソウルジェムにさえ気をつけていれば今までと変わらない。
桃子さんは忘れられるんですか？
もう半年も経つんだ。私たちだけこんな目にあって、その上負い目を感じて生きていかなきゃならないなんて、そんなの辛すぎるよ。
鶴野さんには。
鶴野にまでこんな思いはさせたくない。
Okay, so that's what Tsuruno doesn't know.
私は一生この記憶を背負って生きていくのでしょうか。誰にも打ち明けられないまま。
Oh. So she was about to turn too. Oh yeah, because getting murky isn't only just overexertion, but when you're overwhelmed by negative emotions, that also happens as well. Mm-hmm. So why did hers manifest in a different way? Like, what's special about her? How come she...
ソウルジェムが綺麗になってる。この力って。ちゃんとシナプスつながったみたいだね。どうかちゃん。はい、巻き戻し。魔女化は不可逆反応。だから街で出会った魔女は魔法少女に戻ったりしない。でも、あずさみ冬は人間に。
Yeah, what's special about her?
反応だからおかしいよね。魔女化じゃないとしたら何だと思う？ここからの講義は魔法少女理論応用1ドッペル。
Okay.
イロハが今網膜で受け取った視覚情報。あずさみ冬に起こった変化を私たちはドッペルって呼んでるんだ。
Doppeling.
そう、私が作った魔法少女の
You did this?
システムだよ。トウカちゃんが作った。ここまで言ったらもう玉木いろはにもわかるよね。逃れられない魔女化の運命を拒絶する。これがマギウスの掲げる魔法少女の解放だよ。マギウスの翼はキューベイが構築したシステムから魔法少女を解放するための組織。私たちの運動は
You know, on first glance, I don't see anything wrong with this, actually. Right? They want to escape, you know, if we take away everything we know about the original Madoka Magica series, this doesn't seem to be a bad deal for magical girls.
でも大丈夫。私と一緒に来れば魔法少女は救われるよ。
Oh. So I guess she became part of the Magus as well. Alright. So I'm just waiting here for the catch, right? Like, what's the catch?
救われなければいけない。行きましょう。
Because obviously, if all that happens is you're now able to control witchification to become to go through this process of Doppelu or Doppelation or whatever it's called, what's the catch there, right? All right, I'll take a look and see if there's anything after this. If not, I'll see you guys right after. Alrighty, so 12 episodes in, and we are finally back at the starting line, right? And I say this because, of course, with already prior knowledge of the original Madoka Magica series, as well as the movies and whatnot, we already know all this, right? So it is only now that Iroha and the others have caught up to our knowledge about magical girls, about witches, about the truth of Kyubey, so on and so forth, right? So I'm not going to get into that again. It's nice that we finally got the main cast on the same page. So let's talk about the crucial point about all this, right? And that is the duplication or Doppeling or whatever term you want to use for Doppeling or Doppels. And as I was saying in the episode, this sounds like a no-brainer to me, right? You are essentially utilizing this sort of negative emotional power that you have that was originally supposed to turn you into a witch, and now not only do you not turn into a witch, but you can actually use the witch powers in your goal of eliminating other witches, right? So you got powers you can borrow, you don't become a witch yourself, and you can even cleanse your soul gem. So this sounds like a no-brainer. And it's exactly that, and that's the reason why I'm saying it's a little bit too good to be true, right? There's no such thing as a free lunch, where what is the catch here, right? And I suspect it probably has something to do with rumors, right? And, just throwing out some ideas out there, perhaps they need to make these rumors to entrap normal people, and then utilizing that energy that powers this entire duplication system, which Toka has created, right? So that's my initial gut feeling about all this, and which is why the magical girls will still reject this particular method, even though they can be saved in the process, right? It depends on your own personal morals. Do you value self-preservation more than I guess justice and morals and not involving innocent people, right? But of course, this is only a guess, but I 100% believe there has to be some drawback to this system. Otherwise, it doesn't really make sense in the context of the Madoka Magica franchise, right? Like, if this was such a no-brainer, then what would be the point of the sacrifice of Madoka and of the story and how Homura, did all this in order for Madoka to eventually set out on the path that she went on, right? So if this was something without drawbacks, it would completely negate the original series, the original movies, etc., etc. So I don't feel like they are stupid enough to make this without any drawbacks. We'll have to see what it is, right? So the rumors are one thing that I'm thinking of, and another is perhaps the disappearance of Ui has something to do with all this as well, right? And that is how we tie the May storyline together with Iroha trying to search for her sister, as well as this entire Magius duplication kind of thing. So that is my initial thoughts on what has been revealed for this episode so far. And I mean, I know if I was a magical girl, and well, just bear with me here. Like, if I were a magical girl and that was all that I knew up to that point, and there was no other strings attached or whatnot, then yeah, definitely count me in, right? That's, like I said, a no-brainer, right there. So beyond that, and I suspect we'll get to the drawbacks in the next episode, before the end of the season. So the other thing is in regards to Yacho, right? And so it turned out to be less complex or complicated or deep as I thought. Or I guess I shouldn't really say deep. Let's just say that there was no real twist to it, right? So I guess the main thing here is that Yacho does not want to make friends because she's afraid of losing more friends, because she knows the truth about what will happen to magical girls eventually, right? And so that's how she is choosing to protect herself emotionally and mentally. She doesn't, she's not making friends anymore, so on and so forth. And I guess in a sort of way, I think I can totally understand her, right? And it's not just a case of, she is a magical girl after all, right? And let's remember that having negative emotions is going to cause your own soul, causing your own soul gem to become murky even all the faster, right? As we can see from Review in this episode as well. So I guess Yacho is ascribing to the Zen philosophy, right? Having no desires and whatnot. If you don't have anyone to care about, then you can't be sad, you can't get negative emotions, and she's basically steeling herself to be alone here, and that's how she feels best to cope with the situation. So not only works on a normal person mental kind of level, but it also works in another way in that it also is preventing her from getting any additional stress or pressure applied to her soul gem, right? So I guess even though the answer was simple, it really makes a lot of sense that that's what she would choose to do, right? She's definitely a very logical person. She's thought these things through, right? But of course, as we see in this episode, like I said, she can't help but to care about the others as well. And so, I mean, like I said, I fully expect them to continue to reject the Magus, and probably because of some major drawback or some morally wrong thing that they don't agree with, and then Yaksha's going to open up to the rest of the girls, Sana's going to hand her the coasters, and then we all live happily ever after, right? So, yeah, I think that's pretty much it for this episode. Other stuff, let's see. I definitely did like the action scenes in this one a lot more than the previous few, right? Like I said, it actually kind of gave me a feeling of the old Madoka Magica series, and whilst they were fighting witches, it seemed like the stakes were not only higher, I mean, even though it's just memories, right? But I felt like the witches, they looked way more sinister, the music was utilized well to create this atmosphere, and the overall actions, the shiny stuff, let's say, also seemed to it seemed to be of a higher quality than most of the fights that we've been seeing in this series so far, right? So definitely enjoyed that from me. So anyways, that's it for this episode. We'll be having the finale in the next one, so stay tuned guys, and I'll see you guys next week. Bye bye.